From analog.
Hi, Jim. You have a great signal up here. You're 5.9 plus.
Digital.
We are everywhere you want to be. This is the CQ Blind Pams Podcast.
Alright guys, this is NE5 Lima. Today we're going to do a podcast on Anderson power poles. I'm going to try to do it anyway. Alright, when you get these things, they're going to come in a Ziploc bag. I've got a little cafeteria tray that I put all mine on. That way I don't lose them. And you're going to get, it's all according to how you can order them. You can order them 10 pair, 7 pair, however you decide you want to order them. You're going to get some little plastic housings, and you're going to get some little, I don't really want to call them terminal connectors, but I think that's what we're going to stick with. Okay, and in that bag you're going to have a pair, means 2 plastic housings and 2 of the little terminal connectors. They're red and black, the plastic housings. Okay, you probably have to have somebody help you distinguish between red and black, but here right at the front, it does not matter to the housings or the connectors. Red or black is not a issue there. You can hook it up 2 reds, 2 blacks, 4 greens, 17 yellows, whatever. That is mainly for cosmetic look, and if a sighted person, hook the radio up, it would it look like it should. But on these plastic connectors, there is a big end and a smaller end. And on the smaller end, you can feel one end, the top is bigger than the bottom. Okay, that's how it slides into your, the little end goes into your power pole distribution block. Okay, and also if you'll feel around the connector, there's sides that have indentions, and then there's a side that has a lip. It's almost like tongue and groove. The big side slides into the flat side that's on the side of the connector. If you hold these things with the big end facing towards you and the small end facing away, there's a side, the small end is what goes into your distribution block. Now, distribution block is just a block that you hook to your power supply, and then you can have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 different power poles running off of one block. It makes it real simple and easy. But if you'll feel that smaller end, hold the connector flat in your hand, not poking up or poking down, flat. Have it oriented to where the smaller end is going, the smaller end of the small end is going on the bottom. And then, like I say, you'll get somebody to tell you which one's red and black. Okay, that's a description of the housing. Now, the big end is where you slide your single wire into. To prepare your wire, you strip, if you feel the little connectors that come in the bag, there's a round end and then there's a flat end. Okay, on that flat end, there's a part that pokes down, like the tip of it is sharp and it pokes down. Let's make sure those are pointed down. And you trim your wire back about half the size of that connector where you slide your wire into, the round part of that wire. That way you'll have enough outside covering to make a good crimp. You just trim it back, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little more. I haven't really ever measured to see. Strip the outside casing off and just leave the bare wire. And I always just take the bare wire and twist it a little bit just to make it a little neater and, more, makes a good crimp. Okay, now we got to get over here and describe the power pole crimping tool. It is basically a big, humongous pair of pliers. And if you hold it with the handle facing you, and on the other end, there's going to be a big crimping tool. On the left side of that thing, it's flat, all the way front to back. And on the right side, you'll feel a little, what I call an anvil, because it's actually just a big square piece of metal. And while this thing is closed, you're probably not going to be able to feel what I'm going to describe to you. So let's squeeze them till they click and let go and let it open up on you. Now in the jaws there, you can feel on that right or left side rather, that's flat. The top jaw, you can feel 1, 2, 3 holes, and they get bigger as you go toward the handle end of the tool. One is for a 15 amp, one's for a 30 amp, and one's for a 45 amp. Now if you'll go to the bottom jaw, you will feel the little anvils that slide up into those grooves that actually make the crimp. And if you slide your finger on the bottom inside of those jaws, you'll feel a little line that's about halfway in the middle of that little anvil that actually does the crimping of the wire. Okay, now we'll go back to the right side of the tool where the anvil is. Okay, I think this is what gives people a lot of problems. If you're doing a 15 amp connector, don't put it in the hollow spaces in between the little anvils. You put it right on top of them, and if you can feel with your finger or get a screwdriver or something small, slide it right across the top of that, and you'll feel a hole there in the side of that anvil. And we're going in from the left side. Going in from the left side, you can't go from the right side. On the left side, you lay your connector and your wire on the top of that 15 amp anvil and push it, and it'll half of that connector is going to slide into that anvil. You'll never see it till you pull it out. Make sure your wire's in there good. I like to put my connector on and then slide my wire in till it stops. That way I know it's even within the connector. There's nothing hanging out, nothing to hang me up when I go slide it into the housing. Once you get that there, hold it with your hands and then start squeezing your tool. Then you'll hear it. When you hear it click like that, right, let it go, and it's crimped. Now it's the higher you get in amperage, the harder it is going to be to crimp, and also the thicker of the wire that you use. So it's not you can't do it with a baby touch. You've got to squeeze it pretty good. But once it clicks, that last time, it's a bigger click than the rest of them. Let it go. Don't keep on squeezing, because you can mess them up if you squeeze them too hard. And you continually, all right, let's just say that was your black one. All right, that's the black. All right, now you do the same thing with your left, or your right, your red wire. And you get that one crimped on. Okay. Then you're going to grab your connectors. You know, you got them separated, red and black. All right, start with your black wire. If you don't know which one the black wire is, the easiest way for blind people to do it is with a volt-ohm meter. Connect your power cord to the radio. Put your volt-ohm meter on continuity. Touch a ground screw, or just a screw on your radio that goes into the chassis. And then with the other probe, you touch one wire at a time. Whichever wire gives you the continuity beep is your ground wire. So that you know that's your black automatically. So you can grab your black housing. Make sure your tongue now is pointing down when you get ready to do this. And make sure that the bottom, the small end of the small end is on the bottom. Then you start pushing that connector up into that big end of that housing. Some of them are easy to do, some of them are not. They make a tool that helps you do this. It looks like a fork with two tines on it. and you put it on the end of that connector, and you push it. When you feel it hit that connector, you just push it. And when it makes a little click, it's there. Just leave it alone. And the tool also helps you remove them if you should ever have to remove them. And you do the same thing with the red wire. You make sure your tongue's pointed down, make sure the connector's oriented in your hand properly, and you push that wire in there, then you'll hear it. It'll click, and it's there. And there is the ends of your power poles on your wires. And if you slid them together, you're going to have 2 wires and 1 connector. Connectors will be hooked together. And then all you do is you go over there to your distribution block. You line the little holes up with the big holes in the distribution block and slide it in there, and it's there. That's really about all I can say. If anybody has any questions, feel free to catch me on the Blind Hams Network, or most of y'all have my email address. If not, it's good on QRZ. I had a guy show me how to do this one time, which, I mean, I had figured out how to do it, but like I say, the orientation of the connectors are very easy to mess up. You can have them, they will go together wrong. Well, let me see. I got one here in my hand. I don't know if they'll go together wrong or not. Let's see. Slide it in there. Yes, they will. So you've got to make sure that everything's lined up correctly. Once you do it one time, you know you'll have it. But if you should happen to need any help or further assistance with it, feel free to ask. I don't mind helping anybody or any kind of questions. And if I left anything out, shoot me an email, and we'll see how we can get it, figured out to where you can understand what's going on. All right, guys and gals, appreciate y'all letting me do this little podcast. Maybe it was a lot of help. And 7-3, everyone, and E5 Lima. And remember, if you should hear this, you did it wrong. 7-3.